Welcome to another edition of MBB Prep's case interview video series. I'm Ashwin Shetty, founder of MBB Prep. I have over a decade of experience in strategy consulting, working my way up from a Bain manager to a Deloitte director and then a Goldman Sachs strategy lead. Over the last 5 years, it has been a joy to guide over 200 candidates in securing their dream consulting roles. In this video, I will be discussing a BCG profitability diagnostic case. Through this entire video series, we aim to teach candidates how to approach case interview problems through robust structuring logic and how can you drive a case in a purposeful and efficient way. This case revolves around Blue Horizons travel agency that has experienced profit drop, and they want your help to analyze the situation and provide recommendations. At MBB Prep, we encourage candidates to break down a case interview into four distinct parts: the open phase, the structure phase, the analyze phase, and finally the recommendation phase. In the opening phase, your goal is to understand the problem by asking the right clarifying questions. Next, you structure a logical approach to solve the problem. Then in the analysis phase, you conduct the required analysis laid out in your structure logic. And finally, in the recommendation, we synthesize all the findings, all the insights that we have gathered and provide a solution addressing the main client question that we started with in the first place. Let's start with the opening phase. First, we recap the case prompt. Here, the key information that the interviewer has provided us is about Blue Horizons having a profit drop. Then we will ask the interviewer a series of clarifying questions to get more details about the objective of the client and also about the client's unique context and situation. To understand the client objective, we could ask something like, are they currently making a profit or loss? What is the magnitude of profits they are making today? When did the drop start? Let's say the interviewer tells us that they're losing 50K monthly and the drop started 3 months back. Then we inquire about the specific numerical target that the client wants to aim for and by when does he want to achieve it. Let's say the interviewer provides us this information that the goal is to get to 50K monthly, which was their earlier profit level, and they want to do it as soon as possible. Now, with this information, we can gather that the main conceptual objective is profit increase. And we also have a numerical profit target that is 50K monthly. In some cases, if the definition of the objective is not clear, you should also force the interviewer to define the objective for you. For example, let's say if the objective is to improve ROI, you can ask the interviewer, how does the client define ROI? Is it profit relative to investment cost, or does the client have some other definition? Then, to better understand the client context and situation, we could understand or ask questions related to the business model and also ask questions related to how does the client segment their business? Does he use any logical segmentation such as product categories or geographies, or let's say by distribution channel, right? Let's say the interviewer gives us this information, is kind enough to give us the information that revenue comes from commissions on airline tickets, hotel bookings, and vacation packages. Now, after I get this information, I would tell the interviewer, okay, based on the information that you've given me, I'm going to reframe the key question in order to bring more focus and structure to what I'm going to solve. So I could reframe the question as, how can Blue Horizons travel agency increase monthly profits from negative $50,000 to positive $50,000? Or in other words, generate an improvement of $100,000, and this has to be achieved as soon as possible. Now, let me ask you this. Which question is more useful to guide problem solving? The one we just framed here or the initial case prompt? Obviously, the question that we have framed after understanding the client objective and the client's unique context and situation. Because in this question that you have framed, we have a more clearer understanding of what success looks like for the client. Once we have achieved the 50K monthly profit level, we know we have solved the case. The case prompt provided us a conceptual objective, which is profit increase, but we need to dig deep and understand a numerical target level that the client wants to achieve. After the reframing of the main question, we then move on to the structuring phase. In the structuring phase, your task is to develop a logical roadmap that will help you navigate the analysis and address the main question of the client. In this case, a three-step approach could be effective. So in step one, we focus on identifying the core issue. We will disaggregate a focus metric into drivers and sub-drivers. Then we would look at size and historical trend of the underlying drivers. And we will drill down only where there is a negative trend till we isolate the core issue. If multiple underlying drivers have a negative trend, we might prioritize those drivers with material size. Once we have identified or isolated the core issue, we can then move on to probe the underlying reasons why this issue has happened. Right? So we could investigate reasons for development of the core issue. And finally, in step three, we will focus on suggesting potential strategies to address the underlying reasons that cause the development of the core issue. Right? So this is a three-step approach. Core issue identification, understand the qualitative underlying reasons why the core issue happened, and finally, suggest strategies that address the underlying reasons. If you follow the structure logic, you will be able to systematically diagnose what is the core issue, why did the issue develop in the first place, or reasons why the issue developed, and then outline strategies to address the core issue. It's a very methodical approach that we are following here in order to diagnose and recommend strategies. Let's apply the structure logic that we just articulated. We will first start with disaggregating profits, which is our focus metric. The most logical disaggregation would be revenues and costs. Then we try to understand from the interviewer details related to size and trend. When we're looking at trend, we should be comparing current value against the value 3 months back, because that's when the profit drop started, right? Let's say the interviewer gives us information that the revenue is $200,000 and cost is $250,000. Revenue has seen a dip of 30% or a decline of 30%, while cost has improved, right? Because we see that the cost has gone down by 5%. So it's clear where we should drill down now. We should drill down the driver where we see a negative trend, and that's revenue. We can further break down revenue based on the segments that we have already received from the interviewer. If this segmentation has not been provided, or you have not been asked, or you have not asked for the segmentation, it's the right time to ask for what kind of logical segmentation that the client use to manage his business. Does he use segmentation by product categories, or let's say by geography, or let's say some other segmentation that allows him to manage his business better, right? After that, we try to understand the size and trend. Based on the information we collect, you can see that vacation package contributes most to the revenue of the Blue Horizons, and vacation packages have seen a significant decline. So this is where we will drill down further. Let's assume we drill down further to or disaggregate to volume and price. If there is a further logical segmentation of vacation packages, we could have looked at further segmentation. If there is no further segmentation, I think volume and price would be a more relevant disaggregation here. And then again, we understand size and trend. Let's assume we get the information from the interviewer that the volume of bookings has gone down from 69 to 25 per month. And the client has also increased price of a vacation package from $3,500 to $4,000. After this, it's clear where the core issue lies. The core issue lies in the volume of vacation packages, because that's where we are seeing major decline. And this decline in volume of vacation packages is causing a decline in revenue that we generate from revenue packages, and therefore also the profits that we are making per month. After that, we move to step 2. We need to investigate the underlying reason why vacation package volume has declined. In order to brainstorm, we start with this main question and then we break down. A logical breakdown could be there could be internal factors that have caused this volume decline, and also some external factors could be contributing to this volume decline. From an internal factors perspective, we could further break it down into product and service decline that is causing a reduction in volume, ineffective marketing, ineffective promotions, or ineffective targeting of customers could be causing volume decline. Price increase that the client is implemented could also be causing the volume decline, because it could be deterring price sensitive customers. Then we could look at some external factors. For example, economic downturn in terms of decline in disposable income or decline in consumer confidence in our key markets could be causing volume decline. Shift in travel preferences, such as customer preference towards more customized packages rather than standard packages, could be causing the volume decline. And finally, we could investigate increase in competition in terms of new entrants into the market, or a certain competitor being aggressive in terms of pricing or introducing more innovative offerings. Once we have brainstormed the potential reasons, we have essentially a set of hypotheses that we can test for. For example, in order to test whether price increase is causing the volume decline, I could look at customer surveys, or I could conduct customer surveys to understand what is the key purchasing criteria that customers use, right? If we gather information that customers value price, or customers' most important purchasing criteria is price, we understand that the customer base is price sensitive, and therefore a price increase might have triggered a steep volume reduction. Then we could look at testing economic downturn. We could look at which key markets do our customers belong to. Has the economic situation changed in those key markets, right? Let's assume after our analysis, we discover that price increase and economic downturn are the key reasons why volume has declined. We learn that most of our customers come from Russia, and because of the recent conflict in Russia, the currency has devalued and the economic conditions have taken a downturn, and therefore we are receiving less bookings from our Russian customers. Right? And because of this economic downturn, the price increase that we have implemented is also deterring a lot of customers. Right? Once we understand the underlying reasons why the core issue has happened, we move on to a step 3, which is recommending strategies to address the underlying reasons. Our underlying reasons are price and economic downturn in the key markets. Now, we could look at strategies here from an immediate actions perspective, as well as from a long-term strategies perspective. Immediate actions can be implemented quickly and will help get the profit level back to $50,000, which is our client's goal. Long-term strategies will take time to implement, but it will allow the client to have more sustainable profits. From an immediate actions perspective, we could look at reducing price by, let's say, eliminating some of the package inclusions. Uh, we could reduce price to the previous level, it was $3,500. You could also offer limited discounts to attract the price sensitive customers and promote heavily to increase booking volume, right? Because our goal is to increase booking volume, which will increase profits. In order to tackle the economic downturn underlying reason, we could offer flexible bookings and cancellation options to increase consumer confidence, right? Because you can imagine, because of the conflict, the confidence of the Russian customer is down, therefore they're not booking vacation packages. If you can provide a way to increase consumer confidence, for example, you offer them options to book now and cancel free of charge later, they might be tempted or incentivized to book more. Now, from a long-term strategies perspective, in order to tackle pricing, we could look at offering tiered packages and different price points. We could look at partnering with budget providers like airlines and budget hotels to offer competitively priced packages. We could also diversify into other target markets because currently there is a lot of dependence on the Russian market. We could diversify into other markets. There is also seems to be a lot of dependency on price sensitive customer segments. So therefore, we could diversify into new customer segments, primarily luxury customers. And luxury customers tend to be more resilient to economic downturn. After we have suggested strategies, that concludes the analysis phase. We now move on to the recommendation phase. When we are recommending the final solution to the client, we are gathering all the key insights, all our key findings in order to provide an answer to the main question. So therefore, we start with the initial problem brief, keep the problem brief as succinct as possible. Here, the problem brief that we got from the interviewer is our client Blue Horizons has experienced a profit drop and want to get back to the earlier profit level. Then we provide the recommendation and the rationale for that recommendation, right? So here our recommendation is based on our analysis, profit drop has happened due to the core issue related to decline in vacation package bookings, right? And then we talk about the underlying reasons, which is price increase and economic downturn that has caused the core issue to happen, right? And to remedy this, we could look at immediate actions that will increase the profit to the earlier level. And then we could look at long-term strategies to ensure sustainable profits. Immediate actions could be price reduction, discounts and promotions, and flexible booking options to encourage more bookings. And long-term strategies would be tiered packages, partnership with budget airlines and hotels, um, so that we offer more options for price-sensitive customers, as well as customers in other sub-segments. And then we could also diversify into new markets and new customer segments so that we reduce dependency on one particular region or one particular customer segment. And finally, we provide certain next steps. In the next steps, the first item that we can talk about is conducting the risk analysis, because the actions and the strategies that we are recommending, we have done that after a 30 to 40-minute analysis. So that doesn't give us enough time to consider the implications of these actions we're recommending. So therefore, next step could be conducting a risk analysis to consider the implications of these actions. For example, what could, let's say, partnering with budget airlines and hotels have impact on, or what implication it would have on Blue Horizon's brand and market positioning, right? So a detailed risk analysis need to be conducted as a next step to consider the implications of these strategies. And then we could also recommend an implementation plan, including timelines and resources. I hope this case was useful. Um, One more piece of advice that I wanted to share was throughout the case interview, it's essential that you engage with the interviewer, ask relevant questions, and maintain a structured, logical approach to problem solving, right? In the analysis phase, you might have noticed that we looked at size and trend, and we tried to get information related to how the driver has changed compared to the historical value. Now, often the interviewer may not readily provide this information, right? He might ask you to do some form of case math, or he might provide you an exhibit, and you have to interpret the exhibit to come to the trend, right? But the overarching objective remains the same, which is we need to drill down and identify the core issue, right? Also, if you notice in the analysis phase, we drill down only where we identified a negative trend with respect to a driver, right? So we traversed only the problem part. This is a much more efficient way of driving the case discussion. Um, and if you contrast it with building the entire logic tree and then focusing on certain areas where there has been a negative development, right? So therefore, this manner of tackling profitability diagnostic cases is more efficient and it is more purposeful, right? Because we are focusing on diagnosing the problem first and then recommending strategies based on the diagnosis. Thank you for listening. Look forward to talking to you in the next video.